The CSX Illinois subdivision was once booming with railroad traffic. From autorat trains to military trains to coal trains to locals, all that good stuff. Today, however, the CSX Illinois subdivision is dead. Diamonds are ripped out, some parts of the rails are ripped out. The only part of the CSX Illinois subdivision that is left is in service from Flora all the way to Vincennes, Indiana. The only trains that are left running on that part of the line is an everyday local and two sets of as-needed grain trains, G057 and G058. But the CSX Illinois subdivision had a lot more. The line used to run all the way to East St. Louis and would merge with the CSX St. Louis line in Caseyville, Illinois. Now, why is this part of the line closed though? Let me explain. So, there are a couple of reasons of why this part of the Illinois subdivision is dead. The true reasoning is because of profit on the west end. It's just that all the customers had just left the area completely, and there were not any customers to support the costs to run on the Illinois subdivision. Another part of it can also be because of the CSX St. Louis line. The St. Louis line had played a big role in its end, because the St. Louis line was a much more efficient route, and CSX preferred the St. Louis line. And near the end of the Illinois sub, a lot of the Illinois sub traffic was routed to the St. Louis line. The line was formerly owned by the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad. This B&O was heavily populated in Illinois, and this was one of their biggest lines right here, including the Springfield subdivision as well, where it actually crossed the Illinois division in Flora, Illinois. The rails of the Springfield division are now pulled up, but both of these lines in Flora were owned by the B&O. The most active part of the Illinois subdivision today is Lawrenceville, Illinois, with active and used signals and where the CSX local and as-needed grain trains all run at. There is also a siding in Lawrenceville, which is a lot of times where the CSX local and a grain train can meet. Sometimes just two grain trains can even meet there. It all depends. Today though, for traffic on the Illinois sub on the east side, it only gets up to 3 trains a day, with the local running every day, so there's a guaranteed daily train. And with the grain trains as needed, if you get lucky and happen to see both of them, you can get a whopping 3 trains a day on the Illinois sub. In the early 2000s and further back, the CSX Illinois subdivision would average around 25 trains a day. And the line was popping back then. Then, when the 2010s had hit, there would be a range of 10 to 15 a day, which is still, not too bad. Then after that, when precision scheduled railroading had came in, and then the Illinois sub had slowly started to die out. The line was closed in August of 2015. As a matter of fact, when this video comes out, it will be almost August. So it will have been 7 years since the Illinois sub has been closed very soon. Before the closure of the line, there were only 4 trains a day. The last 4 train symbols on the line that ran were Q234, Q274, Q265, and Q204. Back in the early 2000s too, the Illinois sub was also used for reroutes. Union Pacific and BNSF trains would often hop on the CSX Illinois subdivision for reroutes. Here's an example of a reroute on the CSX Illinois subdivision, a Kansas City Southern train reroute in the early 2000s with TFM 1422 trailing. This was shot in Odin, Illinois as it was crossing the Illinois Central. When the line was closed in 2015, much had changed on the Illinois subdivision. All the railroad crossings have been turned around, the gates have been taken off, and now the railroad crossings look like this. Some of them also have signs that say tracks out of service. Not only that, some sidings have also been pulled out as well, and some diamonds as well. The CSX Illinois subdivision, for example, crossed the CN Centralia sub in Odin, Illinois, and the BNSF Beardstown subdivision in Shattuck, Illinois. Both of those diamonds have been removed. So I don't really think that there is going to be hope for the Illinois subdivision at all, at least on the west side. Not only that too, Union Pacific wants the Illinois subdivision for an east expansion, but I don't think CSX is selling it at the moment. So right now it's looking like that there is no hope, but at the same time though, the tables could turn. After the line had went out of service though, this was not the last train that ran on the CSX Illinois subdivision. A couple of years later, in 2017, a CSX storage train had ran, and this is what it was. This was taken in 2017, and then 2 years later again in 2019, CSX J900, another storage train, had ran on the subdivision. And then, ironically, once again, 2 years later, another CSX storage train had ran in 2021. They did that to get the cars out of Lawrenceville. It seems like a storage train has been running on that line every 2 years. However, though, that one that ran in 2021 was the last storage train from what I have heard. Then again, though, something unexpected could happen. If a storage train seems to be running every 2 years, could that mean that another storage train would run in 2023? I doubt it would happen, but it is very possible, so I would stay on the lookout for that. This could just be a coincidence, but do you guys think that another storage train on the CSX will run in 2023? I'll have to just wait and see. Unfortunately, I don't have any compilation of trains on the CSX Illinois subdivision, because as you all know, I usually do a compilation of trains that I have caught on the line, but before I started recording trains, the Illinois subdivision was already out of service.